But something that drives me a little crazy are these fucking blogs and stories that get shared around, and they're absolute clickbait. Boy, the history of clickbait, wouldn't that be a hell of a segment? That are all, oh, these top 10 billionaires do this, or these, this person, just with these 5 tricks, you can, change your day, and blah, blah, blah. Now, there's times where there are genuine, tricks that you can do that make sense, that are really going to help you. Like, if it's working out, like, oh, these 3 things to do to get new gains on your biceps or something. And they talk about doing like half reps or something. Okay. Yeah, that's legit. Like that actually fucking works, and that's guaranteed to work sort of across the board. But then you get into the more kind of ethereal sort of things, the more abstract things that are just like, oh, just do this and suddenly your life will be happy and all that. And I get tired of this. And they call them success bloggers. And somebody, ironically, wrote a blog complaining about the sex bloggers. And I thought it was so brilliant. I want to read some of it. And then I want to talk about this a little bit because I get so fucking tired of it. Okay. Like I was just saying in during game talk, which I didn't mean to talk about, but look, life's amazing. It really is. Okay. But if there's any like magic trick, it's that life is amazing. And realizing that really at the end of the day, you still have amazing people in your life. You can get amazing connections. You can do incredible things all on your own with the technology available today and all that. That's something that will help you, I think, approach something remotely like success, which success is a very subjective thing. And really it just comes down to, are you happy? In my opinion. I think all other metrics are pure bullshit. The amount of money doesn't matter. A lot of other stuff doesn't matter. I'm not saying it doesn't help. I'm just saying it doesn't really matter. What matters is how happy you are. Okay. But anyway, I want to read some of this here. The title's fantastic. The success bloggers are selling you bullshit. Right on. Here we go. We'll open it right up. No, you shouldn't wake up at 5 a.m. You don't have to follow anybody's morning routine because you know what? I'm just going to tell it like it is. Getting up at 5 a.m. and drinking warm water with lemon and doing an intermittent fast and reading a book a day and meditating for 45 minutes will not make you a successful person. Woo! I added in the woo. It doesn't matter how many blog posts you read that claim it. It doesn't matter how many influencers you follow. It doesn't matter how many people post inspirational bullshit on Instagram. It doesn't matter how many think pieces you read on the Huffington Post. Success does not come from applying any series of magic tricks. Success does not come from finding some motherfucking life hack that transforms you into a productivity machine. Whoa! Stallion breaking in. What, you thought I wrote this? I know, right? You think I did? Damn right. Reading on. And all those bloggers know it too. I know them personally, and I can tell you that most of them are putting this shit on because it gets so many clicks from all the people who want to believe that the magic is true, but they aren't enlightened beings of pure energy. They're just like you and me, no matter how inspiring they seem. Success comes from luck, timing, hard work. Hard work. As in developing your skill, not as in working for the man, not as in hard work being a virtue. Okay, make that clear? All right, moving on. Perseverance and the ability to eat a lot of shit while everyone else gets ahead of you because you believe that eating that shit will pay off. That's it. It doesn't come from magic tricks and microdosing, and long distance running and reading Stoic philosophy. It doesn't come from reading Stoic philosophy, baby. Stallion cut that one. And anything else that they tell you is the secret. Those things might help some people, sure, but they aren't the answer to all of life's shitty shit. And they aren't the keys to success. There is no key. Let me tell you about my life. It's not an inspiring, successful startup blogger existence. I get depressed for weeks on end. I wake up late. I eat McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner some days. I work my ass off, but my productivity is rarely 9 out of 10. It's roughly around 6 out of 10. The hustle bores the fuck out of me. Startups every 4 days out of 7 bore the fuck out of me. When I look in the mirror, I don't always like what I see. When I work on my companies, I don't always like what I work on. I don't feel destined to do anything, and I don't think that anybody is meant to do anything. I don't wake up at 5. I don't run every day. I don't meditate every day. I don't float through life on some kind of cloud where my existence buoys me up and I can see the threads of humanity. I'm a fucking mess. We're all a fucking mess. That's part of being human. Woo! Stop chasing this idealized concept of success. Your mission, whether or not you choose to accept it, is to find a way to do work that you enjoy more often than you dislike it, to be there for the people you love, and to find and achieve your own metrics for happiness and satisfaction. It's not to be Grant Cardone. It's not to be Ty Lopez. It's not to be me. You only have one short, limited life to spend down here. You have to spend it doing what you want, not chasing some kind of bullshit that just makes you miserable because it doesn't pay off the way it's supposed to. I've always tried to tell it like it is, and sometimes I've failed in that. And I've blogged about some pretty small-time bullshit because getting the clicks seemed kind of exciting. So I want to say this. You don't need to make your life conform to everyone's clickbait idea of success. You just need to do you. Woo! And that's written by John Westenberg. Fucking right. Every ounce of that. Damn straight. It is, I'll tell you something. I think that a lot of the most popular pages on Facebook statistically, as well as on Twitter and all this, are all like these memes about depression. Because you know what? Really, that's how people are feeling. And it's because I think it's an internet backlash against this internet bullshit that's been going on for 15 years at least now with all these success blogs. Oh, live my perfect life. I run every morning, blah, blah, while I'm holding my tea maker shake. I don't know, whatever kind of crap they're peddling on you. Stop it. 99% of what you see online is bullshit. Good or bad. It's crap. It's not real. It doesn't give you the entire picture. And those pictures are not telling you 1,000 words because, Stallion telling you straight, okay, because your vocabulary has gone down to maybe 140 characters at best. Like I said earlier, life is amazing. Life is wonderful. But to quote Mr. Spock from This Side of Paradise, there's no such thing as a happiness pill. It doesn't exist. There's no cocktail. You have to, it's all, happiness is something that only you can define for yourself. No blogger can define it for you. There is this, this is one of the problems with Stoic philosophy. I'm so glad that they mentioned that because it's claiming, hedonism doesn't claim this, but Stoicism does. It's claiming that there's some kind of recipe for what the good life is. That's preposterous. The human condition, human life is so complex. There's no way that there's just like one way that you achieve that there's one way that it's done. That's madness. That's why every time I hear somebody, oh, I really like Stoicism. What the fuck are you reading? What are you talking about? There is no recipe for this. You just recognize that there can be other people like you. You can find love. Life is amazing. There are so many incredible things to do, and you don't need the permission. You don't need anybody's permission to do it. Okay. I mean, it's all wonderful. But if you're spending your whole time just thinking that, well, I just got to keep baking this cake a little bit more. I just got to keep making the shake a little bit more. Look, I meditate all the time. Okay. But, I got to make sure I meditate and then everything will be fine. I mean, no. You got to find out what works for you. Everybody's different. Everybody's an individual. And I think if you think that there is some kind of grand recipe for all this bullshit that works for everyone, that's when you run into trouble. And that's how you end up in collectivism. And that's how you end up walking away from individualism. And that's how we end up with so much of the trouble that we have right now, is because suddenly we start thinking, oh yeah, we're all connected. Oh, if we all did this. Oh, if we all... No, that's not how this works. I talked about this recently in a Patreon episode. I said, you know what the most important question that a person can answer is? What do I want? That is in my opinion, it is the ultimate philosophical question. What do I want? And it's a beautiful one too. It's beautifully worded. You have the I in there. It's not what do we want? It's what do I want? And it's not about needs. Okay, those are things, biological universals and all that. Yeah, you need to eat and all that stuff. It doesn't address that. We get it. Okay, there's the basics. Sure. But it's what do I want? What provides more? What gives me, not what externally gives you meaning, but what can help fulfill the meaning that you feel inside? What do I want? Yeah, the internet is doing, it's funny because I think a lot of, I remember, was the movie Network, right? With Howard, the classic character Howard Beale, where he's talking about, television's not the truth. Well, guess what? The internet's not the truth either. It's just as bad in a million ways. And I am so tired of these fucking success bloggers, and I'm so glad people are finally starting to call them out. And I actually kind of appreciate the little depression fest of memes going around, because that's people pushing back, saying, no, you're fucking lying to me. I won't just be okay if I put lemon in my water. But that's all right. You know, okay, so we find out the reality that, boy, these sex bloggers, I wish they were sex bloggers, these success bloggers, okay, are so full of shit. You know, great. You accept that reality, but then you can accept the reality that, guess what? You really can, no matter where you are, when you are, whatever, you really can live an amazing life. And if you feel you really can't do it where you are, you move. You have 2 feet or whatever, you hop in a car, whatever it takes, and you take the risk. That's kind of the funny thing that I think a lot of these success bloggers don't really talk about is, you know, maybe taking a bit more risk and saying, well, you know, you only live once, make it happen. Instead of coming up with these like concoctions and recipes and like, you know, these guides on how to do it and all that. You know, I get asked this question. In fact, I got asked beautifully by a wonderful person. It was actually in the Sovryn Tech Uncensored Facebook group. You know, what gives you your drive, Stallion? What gives you, you know, what makes you happy, blah, 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 you know, all this. And I really appreciate the question. It was very sweet. And it was, you know, it was just really wonderful. Okay. But, you know, I actually tried, Stephanie and I, here's a little inside baseball. Stephanie and I tried to answer this question. And we were recording it. It was going to be on a Sex and Science Hour. And I got about 10 minutes in and I said, stop. I said, delete it all. Because I couldn't describe it. I was just rambling the whole time. And that's the thing. There's no recipe. Like, that's the whole point, is that, you know, and I get it. I understand why this person's asking this, and there's nothing wrong in asking it. And maybe you can glean something from what I do, and that's awesome. You know, that's very helpful. Okay, but like, there's no one way to really describe sort of how this goes. Like, what allows a person to, you know, achieve what they achieve, or why do they have that smile on their face, or what, you know, whatever that happens to be. Why did they find love? All of that. There's no set recipe. You just gotta. I love how at the end of that blog, how it just said, you just got to do you. And that's what I say.